Okay guys, I get a lot of people asking how I wrap my gypsy style forks with leather and bind them. Obviously you start off with your forks, and then I've got some paracord that I glue right the way around first. A quick demonstration. This is just an active spray to make the super glue go off a bit quicker. So glue it on. A little loop in for your tab. Depending on what catapult you're doing, try and keep the paracord center to the forks. That way then when you put the leather on, it'll be equal both sides. So you got your tab at the top there for your bands. And then you just keep gluing the paracord. Right the way around, making sure it's nice and tight and glued. Because the paracord is one continuous loop right the way around, it gives your tabs, or where you attach your tube squares or whatever elastic, gives them more strength because it's one continuous loop and it's glued all the way around, then it's bound, so they're not going to go anywhere. Rather than like just doing tabs and a little loop, they can fail a lot easier than by doing it this way. This is, well, after much testing, this is the best way I found and the strongest way, to be honest. The only downside with it is if you've got to change the tabs or anything, it's it's fucking glued all the way right. It's glued right the way around. So, but this paracord will last for years, you know, as long as it's not left out in shitty weather, which you're not going to do with any catapult really. So just keep going round, bit of glue, line it up in the center of that. Oops. This glue is strong stuff. I guess this is industrial grade super glue I get from Tool Station. And this, I think this is about a £5 a tin, and I think this is about 2 or 3 quid. It's not dear, it's about £3, I think, £2.59. But as you can see, it's a messy job. Same again, this side. Try and get the loop the same size as that one. I don't know whether you can see that. See where it's gone white there? Whether you can see that or not. That's because of this stuff. It sets the glue more or less instantly when you spray it on. But the only downside, you get a white thing where it sort of welds it to the, look, to whatever it's sticking to. Right, so that's just got to be trimmed, glued to there. I'll cut the video a minute now, and then I'll start back with the leather pieces. Right, that's the paracord glued right the way around. That's not, you know, it's not going anywhere, that ain't. So you've got your leather strips. In this instant, this red. So if you look, I've cut that so when it gets tied round, it meets the black paracord. So a bit of magic spray, start in the middle there. And then hold him in. I'm shut to making video, so you'll have to bear with me. And then hold the last piece you done, and then glue your next bit. Just checking that it still wraps round. This is quite thick leather, so it is quite hard to stretch round. Obviously with thinner leather, it'll be a lot easier to, to twist round. But this is the only red leather I got at the moment, so I'll have to do. Right. When you get to the top of the fork, glue then. Thread that through there so it protects any band or anything you put it on, like so. As you can see, the gap in between the paracord and the leather, when that gets bound now, that gets pushed tight into there, both sides, whether you can see that. And basically just keep on gluing the leather all the way around, back through that side, down our side, trim it off to there, and then we'll be ready for binding. Right, next step, you've got your leather glued right the way around in between the paracord. Cut a scrap piece of leather, and then we're going to glue it from there over the middle to the other side. So when you got your joins with it, it doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to get covered by that piece. So a bit of magic spray, glue, I mean, you don't have to use this stuff, this active spray. I mean, I just use this because it makes makes it 10 times quicker than holding it and holding it and holding it for the glue to go off. So like I said, you don't have to use it. So I forgot to use it then, but if I give that a squirt now, pull that over and wrap it in it. And that's your next step done. Next thing we'll be doing is binding it all together. I use this Marlow whipping twine, number 4. I buy this on eBay. It's about £5 a roll, but it's strong. It's like a wax thread, and once it's on, it don't go nowhere. So we'll skip forward to that step next. Right, the final step, like I said earlier, Marlow whipping twine number 4. I always start here and work my way around. Nice little knot there. Right, and then this all depends on you then. I mean, the more you take your time, the better it's going to look, the neater it's going to look. Try and keep it as tight as you can. Come up once, and then I come back down, trying to keep everything as straight and as close to each other as you can. This will get, once it's all been bound, it'll get super glue over the top end, so none of it can move. Like I said, the slower you are taking your time, better results you get. I mean, this ain't nowhere near perfect, but for demonstration purposes, it's not that bad. Right, that's that one done, and then pushing the leather in and then winding it around. I mean, you can leave the gaps, you can have wider gaps, smaller gaps, you can wind it. That's down to personal preference. Ugh. Get in, you bastard. Just check both sides are equal. And then you're down to the center, and then I just wrap it, keep on wrapping it here to build it up to the same thickness as the leather piece we put on, and then start winding round. And once we're happy with that, start winding around the middle. And then build this side up again. Not as much as the other side because we've got to come back over this one. And then try and start there first if possible. It does, this leather is quite slippery, so like I said, the more time you spend checking both sides, getting it right, the better it'll look at the end. Like I said, this is just for a demonstration because I've had so many people ask how I do it. And then back up this side. Try and get as tight as you can. And then when you get roughly the same place the other side, start binding this one in. back down. And then trim off. And then what I like to do is glue that piece down once that's dried, and then I put a bit of glue then right the way around, so you know that's not going anywhere. And then same, glue that side, glue there, glue there, glue there if you want to. I mean, you know these are not going anywhere because it's one continuous loop, and then that's not perfect, but you get, you know, where I'm coming from. You know, it's you can see where it's pulled in tight to each side of the paracord on the outside and in the inside, whether you can see that. I mean, you can use any colour leather, any colour paracord. I just knocked this up quick just to try and do a quick video for you. And that's it, really. Thanks for watching.